Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Four Roses Bourbon. I'm going to give that a try. I've never tried that before. As far as taste profile, what are we going to be comparing that to? I'm going to compare that to one of my favorite bourbons, Jim Beam. I really like Jim Beam. It's really smooth, tastes good. I'm going to try the Four Roses sealed. I'm going to try that and see what it tastes like compared to the Jim Beam bourbon. So let's get this thing opened up, see what it tastes like. All right, let's crack the seal on this thing and see what it tastes like. And this particular one has the cork in there. I like the ones with the cork for some reason. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned. Let's pop it open. Let's see what it smells like. Smells pretty good. Let's pour a glass. All right, we got us a glass poured of the Four Roses Bourbon. I've never been a brown liquor fan. I've never been into the brown liquors, or really just liquor in general. I've never really been a big fan of. And I had an old bottle of Jack Daniels laying around. This was sitting around for a little while, and poured me just a little small glass to sip on one night before I went to bed. And had to work the next morning, so I just poured a little small glass to sip on while I was doing some stuff. And I thought, well, that tasted pretty good. So I decided to get a bottle of Jim Beam to remember what that tasted like, because I haven't tried it in probably 20 years or more. So I got a bottle of that to try, and here I am tasting different bourbons and whiskeys and scotches. Me and my wife got on a show called Blue Bloods. We started watching it. And if you've ever watched that show, Blue Bloods, you know they always are drinking some scotch in there. So I maybe want to try some scotch too. I've tried a couple different ones. I can't remember the names right offhand. I'll do a video on that maybe some other time. But I wasn't too impressed with the scotches so far. There's a couple of them that tasted pretty good, but a couple of them that were pretty nasty, especially the cheaper line or the bottom shelf. But I'm not a liquor professional. I'm not a brown liquor professional. I'm not a taste test professional. We got a bottle of that poured of the Four Roses. And I thought the story on the back was actually kind of cool too. Paul Jones Jr., the founder of Four Roses Bourbon, became smitten by a beautiful Southern belle. He sent a proposal to her, and she replied that if her answer were yes, she would wear a corsage of roses on her gown to the upcoming grand ball. When she showed up the night of the ball in her beautiful gown, she wore a corsage of 4 red roses. He later named his bourbon Four Roses as a symbol of his devout passion for the lovely belle. Cool story. Let's see if it tastes as good as the story. All right. Like I said, it doesn't smell as harsh as the Jim Beam. Well, Jim Beam is not harsh, but it doesn't smell like it's going to be a harsh sip. So let's take a little sip and try it out. It's actually really good. It has a totally different flavor profile than Jim Beam. It's hard to express when you're not sure the words to use as far as like tasting, but it's really pleasant. And on the back end, you get like a little bit of a, you get that little bit of a harshness. It's not harsh, but it's that the alcohol burn, if you will. It starts off kind of smooth, and as it rolls to the back of your tongue, to the back of your throat, you get that little bit of burn. Afterwards, you can feel it. You can just feel it going all the way down, kind of warming you up. But overall, it tastes really, really good. Got a really good flavor. Now, Jim Beam, as far as Kentucky bourbon, is my favorite. Flavor-wise, you know, it's just a really good all-around sipping bourbon. The Four Roses is a little bit more expensive. And they're both 40% alcohol by volume, which is 80 proof, I do believe. Yep, on the Jim Beam it says 80 proof, so not bad. It's really a really easy sipping bourbon. There's something totally different than the Four Roses and the Jim Beam, though. The Jim Beam, to me, almost has a little bit of a sweeter note, where this one has a sweet note, but it's not as sweet. Really, really good stuff, guys. Pretty much the whole reason for me starting to get into some of these brown liquors is I've cut back on trying to lose some weight, so I've cut back on the beer, not drinking as much beer, trying to lose a little bit of weight. Pour just a small little glass and sip on it for about 30 minutes or so before bed. It just makes a perfect little nightcap, and you can sip on these as where beer, it's more like it goes down a whole lot faster than the bourbon. So anyway, really good flavor. I'll give it 2 thumbs up. I think it tastes really nice. So, Four Roses. Get that glare off there for you. Four Roses bourbon. Is it worth the... I think the wife said it was $20 something for that bottle. That's 750 milliliters. That ain't bad. That's a big bottle. That'll last a long time, especially when you're just sipping on it. Usually I'll just pour a little small glass and just sip on it, and that'll last a pretty good while. I guess I'll have to look it up to see how long it's distilled for, I guess. Because I do believe on the Jim Beam, if I'm not mistaken, it actually says, yep, here it is, aged for 4 years, 4 long years, in the heart of Kentucky. So, Jim Beam is aged for 4 years. And to me, I think it's like 17, 18 bucks for that bottle. And totally worth it to me for the Jim Beam. And this one was like 20 something, so just a little bit more. And it might be a little bit more volume. I'm not sure how big that bottle is, the Jim Beam, if it's it doesn't have a measurement on there. I would say for the money, per volume, that's a great deal. And the taste is what matters. And everybody's taste is going to be different. So I really enjoy it. I appreciate you coming over and tuning in and watching the video. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you've tried Four Roses Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. If you've tried that, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of it and how you think it compares to other Kentucky bourbons or bourbon in general. I really appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and click that bell for future video notifications. And if you are a current subscriber and you haven't clicked that bell yet, go ahead and click that bell for future video notifications. Until the next, Handy out.